Should we move on to pick 5?
Yeah, who are you going with?
All right, so pick 5, we have the Miami Dolphins. The way the board has fallen, I think this is a pretty open and shut case. Unless they're worried about his injuries, unless they're thinking, wait one more year, trust the process, get the roster around him. But I don't think you can. I think if you're starting to try and win this year with some of the big contracts they've signed, you got to get your quarterback when you can, get out of Dodge. Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback out of Alabama.
Yeah.
Off the board, number 5 for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tua ended up going to the Chargers. You seem to have more faith in Tyrod Taylor than I do. Let's see. Any Tua questions arise when considering Saban's abysmal track record producing quarterbacks? I think if you watched Alabama this year compared to previous years, the offense was legitimately better and more exciting and more threatening than other years. You can tell on college tape that is better than Jalen Hurts was, is better than Landry Jones was, is better than whoever else has graduated out from Saban in the last little bit. Yeah. And so, you do want to take cues from how a program produces people from what position. But I also think this is a case where Nick Saban got a quarterback that is of a higher caliber than the ones he normally brings in, and then rolled with it.
Yeah.
Rolled with
I
it.
think the questions for Tua for me are injury 1, and then his crazy amount of talent 2. He had just so much talent around him that if anything is a question mark, it's that Jerry Jeudy is probably a wide receiver 1. Henry Ruggs might be a wide receiver 1. They have a sophomore whose name I don't remember, who might be a wide receiver 1. He's surrounded with a crazy amount of talent. The other question mark is that a lot of his yards were yard after catch off of screen passes. I don't know. I think I'm a Tua believer. I think Tua's going to be... I'm not a full Tua believer. I think someone can mess him up, for sure. And I will say that I'm not 100% convinced the Miami Dolphins won't mess him up because their O-line is a nightmare. There's nothing there. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, I'm drafting Tua, and then I'm immediately making it clear he is not playing a minute this year.
Right.
All I'm doing is I'm looking into the best not sports science like the ESPN show, but sports science people who recreate people's gaits and stuff. Do you know about that? So Steph Curry kept getting...
It's tweak, fine-tune small movement tweaks.
Yeah, and all your motions, just your ability to walk and stuff. So Steph Curry kept getting ankle injuries, and then finally he spent a full year relearning how to walk. All I'm doing is I'm just getting the people who are experts in that, and I'm just being how are you get this guy safe, protect this investment for me.
I have a suggestion there too as well. Tua Tagovailoa needs to move around the facility in a hyperbaric jacuzzi cart, where he just is under pressure, under hot water, soothes the bones, soothes the joints, and then he just kind of is wheeled around on the cart in that. And then at the end of a year, he emerges skin supple like a young boy.
What a nightmare that ended on. Things he does really well. He throws a crazy, beautiful deep ball. He has, we looked into a thing on Monday that showed that he has probably the fastest, throwing motion, of all time. It's, faster than Dan Marino and Aaron Rodgers. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Things he does poorly, has a really weak arm, compared to most QBs. That said, it's, not that much weaker than Deshaun Watson, who has found, a lot of success at the pro level. I don't know. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah. I think the injury worry with Tua definitely is there, but it's if I'm a franchise, I'm just as worried that I would have the opportunity to draft a franchise quarterback, and then I would pass it up because he was injured. So it's
right.
If I'm the Dolphins, I'm ready to draft him, and if he gets injured, I'm ready to shift my plan.
Yes.
More than I'm ready to pass him up because he might
be injured.
Yes, or to like get Justin Herbert or something. To be like, you know what I'll do is I'll get the person who just won't be good. That way, that way there's no injury risk. It's just a guaranteed bad QB. A guaranteed
when Jay Cutler
3
was in Miami, he lived in a hotel for the entire season. That's fun.
That sounds right. Dude, Jay Cutler rules.
Get room service.
Tua sounds
Kristen
like
Cavallari, you know, I bet he and Kristen fought over the bathtub a lot. They seem like bath people.
Yeah. He doesn't seem
ahead.
like a fighter to me. He seems like a passive-aggressive partner.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem
I was
like...
thinking more of a bath user than a fighter.
Yeah. That seems true. It would not shock me if once a week he is in a bathtub with a beer.
Yeah, dude. If I played a punishing sport constantly, I would have all sorts of recovery things.
Absolutely.
An inaccurate passive aggressive partner. That's funny. I hope he's a sportscaster so badly. Yeah, let's get Jay Cutler in the booth.
I don't know what this sign is, but if you want to go ahead and take a look at the screen share, check out this sign that just says feet. It's pretty good.
How would it... Here's what I bet it is. It's a stack of signs, and it's on your feet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Unless it's something really strange, like "We love feet." Shouts out to Duncan for dropping the Simpsons reference. Milhouse, I can't hear you. I'm in a jacuzzi suit. There's an episode where Milhouse's family gets really rich, and his mom buys a jacuzzi suit, which is like... It's shaped like a person, and so you just have like 6 inches of jacuzzi around your arms and legs and torso. It's very fun.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, injury questions are there, but I think Drew Brees is a good comp, accurate, good decisions, not the craziest arm strength, but gets the job done, and yeah. I think Miami's a good landing spot, especially because he's probably going to take a redshirt year. Get him. This is going to be Miami's been saving their resources, and then they're going to be ready to like surge next year. Right. So
here's the fear: is word on the street is that he's trying to get the messaging out there, like I can play this year, and I'm like, please don't do this. Don't make that mistake. Like, don't bring him back too soon and mess it up for yourself. Get an offensive line in place.
It's good for him for his draft stock to be like, I can play this year. And then once he's drafted, he'll be like, hell, fuck no, I'm not playing this year.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get why that smoke's coming out now, but we'll see what happens when he's in the team. Also, a shortened preseason, like virtual off season and stuff, it's going to be hard to install an offense with a new quarterback. Like, Ryan Fitzpatrick's ready to roll. Tua's not going to be able to like really maybe learn the offense as well as he would like to be able to. So yeah, I see him taking a redshirt year. Maybe it's like they get him a couple starts at the end of the year. Maybe it's like a Daniel Jones, Eli Manning sort of situation where at some point in the middle of the season they're just like, all right, now's the time. But at the very least, he won't have to start right away.
Yeah. Aaron Klopfer says he's in his early 20s. His brain can't do that. He wants to take it on now. I agree. I don't think Tua will be the one to say, I can't do that. I think the Dolphins should. I think the Dolphins should make it abundantly clear he will not play a minute this year. Their O-line, their O-line was the worst in the league, and then they traded away Laramie Tunsil. Like, they were, like, already the worst, and then they got rid of the best piece of their bad line. Like, they're just asking to throw away this asset if they start him this year, I think.
All right. I think we should move on to pick 6.
Cool.
The Chargers.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going Andrew Thomas, tackle out of Georgia.
Okay.
I mean, let's see. Tackle highlights aren't that exciting, but we're going to put him on anyway. Let's see. He's good from all I can tell. I gotta be honest, whenever it comes to tackle play, I just, I try not to act like I know more than I do, because I don't know enough about how O-line play works.
But what made you think that the tackle would be a good pick for, the Chargers?
Yeah, so they are another team that has a truly trash offensive line. They were they were gonna be like a bottom third O-line last year, and then it was like Russell Okung had like a blood clot in his leg and couldn't play, and then like another player had like a season-ending injury. I think they had 3 season-ending injuries on their already bad O-line last year. Andrew Thomas, his like Danny Kelly big board player comp is Russell Okung. So like we know Tom Telesco likes players in that mold. From everything I could tell, Andrew Thomas is like a pretty sure thing. Is like not a project at all. Is just gonna step in and be able to do it. Like I said, I think that the Chargers will probably move forward with Tyrod Taylor unless there's a world in which Tua drops to them, and I see them going like, all right, well, clearly we're not going to pass up on this opportunity, but I don't see them necessarily trying to move up for Tua. And yeah, I just think like their weakest link is their O-line. Andrew Thomas is at this point the first offensive lineman off the board. They will have their pick of the litter. I think if the board falls this way, they're going O-line. And it's just whether they think Andrew Thomas or Tristan Wirfs. I went with the PFF organizing of offensive tackles for the most part. I just like followed their judgment. Up to a certain point, there was a certain point where their like number 4th one was that guy from Houston, and the number 5th one was this guy from St. John's. And I was like, I'm not going to necessarily mock them in the first round when no one else has them ranked that highly, just because I think it's unlikely. But yeah. Oh, and then they traded Okung to Carolina. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, dude. That's all I got for Andrew Thomas. I just think they're gonna go offensive line there, and I think the consensus seems to be either Tristan Wirfs or Andrew Thomas.
Okay.
Right,
yeah, I think that's smart. Just shore up the offensive line. It seems like that's been a problem in many of the Phillip Rivers years in San Diego and then LA.
Yeah.
They have a lot of good pieces, and like as we saw with the Browns last year, like protection can be a thing that makes your whole team fall apart in spite of pieces in other places.
Yeah.
So
well, it's not even
drafting a starting tackle for the next 5, 6, 7, 10 years at number 6 overall. Why not?
Yeah. To me, it's not even like they have good pieces. Like, they just are mostly a pretty good team. Like, it's like, on defense, they have, like, a really good defense. They have almost all of their DBs from last year, plus they're getting Derwin James back, plus they added Chris Harris. And then on the D-line, they have Linval Joseph, they have Bosa, they have Ingram. Like, their defense is, like, stacked, like, fully stacked. And then on offense, they have Keenan Allen, they have Mike Williams, they have Hunter Henry, right? And then they have Austin Eckler. Like, they're just, like, a really solid team. I think their 2 question marks are, like, O-line, which isn't a question mark, it's just bad. They just have a bad O-line. And then their question mark is, do you believe in Tyrod Taylor? I lean towards Tyrod Taylor can be a top 16 QB in this league. I also lean towards the idea that you just need a top 16 QB to win the Super Bowl if the surrounding cast is strong enough. I think I think that if Tua drops to them, I think they should go Tua, probably. If Tua doesn't drop to them, then I think just get an O-line and, like, try and make a run for it. I think, I don't know. I guess we always think the Chargers are going to be good, and we're almost always wrong. That could be the case again this year. But, I don't know. On paper, they have they have a squad, my man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, I really like them signing Linval Joseph. I really like them signing Chris Harris Jr. They've helped the defense a lot in free agency, so makes sense to me that offense would be the play, especially, going from Phillip Rivers to Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. They have Austin Eckler, they have Mike Williams, they have Keenan Allen. So, like, if you just follow the signs, draw the tape around, I mean, an elite offensive lineman, sure, why not? And then I could see them drafting a, like, helper wide receiver for further down the depth chart, maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round, somewhere like that. Although I think a lot of teams are in that same position where they're like, let's just get a little deeper at wide receiver in, like, the 3rd round.
Yes.
So, we may see. My prediction is that there are going to be a lot of wide receivers off the board in the second round this year, and I think that'll be a fun round to watch.
I think there's going to be a lot gone in the first round. I think I have like 6 or 7 in my mock.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, who are you going with for the Panthers?
Okay, for the Panthers, in my mock draft, I had Isaiah Simmons landing at the Panthers, but I think you're right that he may be off the board sooner rather than later, and he already is off the board in our draft here. So, I have to improvise a little bit here. This is an interesting one because if I were going pure value here, I might start taking other tackles off the board or wide receivers off the board, but I don't think that that's a good positional fit for like Carolina's needs. I think a pretty common. I think this is a pretty common choice here to slot in. I'm going to go Derek Brown, the D lineman out of Auburn. I think they have Kawan Short, who missed last year with an injury, and so this could be a situation where like either he helps be alongside Kawan Short, or if in the presence of another injury, can kind of beef up the interior and sort of provide a high floor for that interior,
Yeah.
So I just think, he's a guy that is probably going to come off the board right after, the first couple elite defensive prospects. He can, disrupt the pocket a little bit, big run stuffer, so especially for a team that, lost Luke Kuechly to retirement, trying to get Stouter up the middle. Could be good. It's a little too early for them to try to draft a linebacker, after Isaiah Simmons off the board. Not good value at 7 overall with the other middle linebackers there. So This is a kind of way that they can sort of solve that need with an adjacent position in a way that's just a big physical player who's going to get in there and be disruptive.
Yeah. I have them taking Derek Brown in my mock. Yeah. It's like they don't really need offensive tackle and they don't really need wide receiver, and those are the two like talent-rich positions still on the board. So just go best player available. I think he's the best player.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. All right. So Cardinals. Let's see. Derek Goodname.
Cardinals at 8. I will say this while you think for a sec. I think Cardinals at 8, we could see a trade down, trade up here. I think this is, if we see a team who's got their eye on a specific tackle or a specific wide receiver, I think the Cardinals are a team that, building around Kyler Murray, they're not necessarily in win now mode. They're in assemble pieces mode. So they could trade down, get a little extra ammo, and just try and build a team for the future that way.
Yeah. I agree. I think there's a very real chance of that. I went with Jedrick Wills Jr. So he is the right tackle out of Alabama. He's just this giant man. I don't know if you've watched his highlights, but
I have not.
He is huge. Like he's not Mekhi Becton huge, but he is a large man who just like stops rushes in their tracks over and over again.
Speed, power, ass whoop. Is that what that said?
I don't know. I didn't see it. What are you doing? Why? Oh, this is a film breakdown. I don't want a film breakdown. I want highlights, you fools.
Aaron Klopfer says, I'm going back in the chat a little bit. Being a millionaire Los Angeles athlete seems rad. Yes, kind of, but Los Angeles. Well, I guess I only dislike Los Angeles because I'm not living in the rich areas of Los Angeles, which are pretty pleasant.
If you live in the rich areas, they're the jungle.
Dude, I think if I were a athlete, I would want to be. I don't know. I mean, taking your talents to South Beach seems pretty fun. Especially for like a winter sport like football, being in like a warm weather place,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
I think I'd want to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I just think that's the sort of city where you can really live it up. It's like, you know how much $1 buys in Green Bay, Wisconsin, as opposed to a more populous area? You could buy
a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
I do think that like, that I'm proud of Emmanuel Sanders for being like, hell no, I'm not moving to Green Green Bay. It's cold.
Yeah, why would I move to Green Bay when I can move to New Orleans? Why would I do that?
I also love the way that this highlight video was flashing him white before each play.
Yes.
That was tight.
Agreed.
Speed, strength, ass whoop. Okay. Good pick. Good pick. I mean, this pick makes sense too. It's like, you know, you got the wide receiver room there is pretty deep with DeAndre Hopkins stepping in alongside Larry Fitzgerald. You know, they got Andy Isabella last year. Christian Kirk was a role player there. You know, you got pass catchers. So, like, you know, what if you were drafting, you know, CeeDee Lamb to be your, like, wide receiver 3, that might not be, I mean, it's not a terrible idea, but it's also not, like, an efficient idea either.
Yes, yeah.
So like, helping the receivers you do have by drafting a tackle who can be, you know, an immediate starter is a pretty good idea. And I love the idea of them getting a guy who can, on a couple of these plays, I've seen him, like, bust through the first line and then seek out the second guy to shove down with a tackle, or with a block. So I'm imagining, you know, him getting out ahead of Kyler Murray on a scramble and throwing a key block on, like, a linebacker or a corner or something.
Or like a Kenyon Drake screen. I don't remember if it's PFF or The Ringer, but someone described him as, like, a true road grader, and that feels true. It feels like he is, like, the machine you use to flatten asphalt. Like, he is, like, he just goes through people. So my reasoning for it was twofold. Mine was that their O-line is, like, fine, but not great, but they also just paid quite a bit of money to DJ Humphries on the left side, and he's a pretty mediocre tackle, so it's like, this fits an initial need, which is you need someone on the right side, because, it's like, honestly, Humphries is their only solid piece on the O-line. Outside of that, it's pretty in flux. So it's like, this fits that need. And then also, I can't stress enough, I'm not a huge DJ Humphries believer. Jedrick Wills is relatively new to tackle, is my understanding. Or is still, like, growing as a prospect. And so it's like, maybe there's a chance also down the road you can groom him to flip him to the left side. So that's sort of my thought process on the matter. Was like,
can I read a few names to you off of the Cardinals depth chart?
Yeah, hit me with them.
They have some all-name guys just waiting to make an impact from the bench.
Yeah.
Safety Chris Banjo.
Good.
Linebacker Kylie Fitz.
Pretty good.
Other linebacker Keyshawn Bierria.
Yeah, Keyshawn Bierria was on Denver. He's from UW.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
He was not
another
good.
linebacker, Vontarius Dora.
Yeah.
Vontarius Dora the Explorer. And then they got backup center Lamont Gaillard.
Ooh, French as hell.
French as hell, dude.
French as hell.
So yeah, I like the way that this roster is shaping up. I think we were kind of like hating on the coaching move last offseason, but, like, I don't know, man. Kyle Murray looked pretty good last year.
He sure did.
We'll see how they do with, like, another offseason, just getting on the same page, implementing that plan.
I've been putting together like a full-length expose on the Cardinals, and I will say that I am of two minds of them. Like, they will either we will eat our words with Cliff Kingsbury because he showed last season he could put together a real solid offense, or Cliff Kingsbury as a pro will just be like a larger example of the same thing that happened at the college level, which was he put together like a number 2 offense year after year and was incapable of getting a defense that was better than, like, literally bottom 5 in the entire FBS. Like, I think there's a real chance of that with this Cardinals defense as well. But I think that limitation, I can't tell if that's because Vance Joseph is bad or because the air raid offense just limits your time of possession, and so defenses get exhausted.
Yeah.
Either way, Jedrick Wills is my pick.
Okay.